Hey guys, I'm Daniel Gidlow, aka Danz Newz, aka Danz Newz Machinima, /Ghost MX10, / It's Me KP. I've been an interneter for years and years and years. I've been editing videos since I was like 11 or 12. Very first video I did was a montage of movie posters that I cut to the beats of Time of Your Life by Green Day. That was the first video I did. Second video I did was set to some Vanessa Carlton music that I'm not going to mention. But yeah, so I've been around for a while. I've been predominantly early on, I was a message boarder. I was part of many different message boards. Star Trek message board, How It Should Have Ended message board. I even made some message boards of my own, a Batman one, a Splinter Cell one, and I was a part of another Star Trek one. I'm kind of a dork. Yeah, hi, I'm Dan. And the reason why I'm telling you this is to kind of put in perspective how far I've come. As you could tell from the title that this is a video in which I'm kind of talking about having over 200,000 subscribers at this point. I just want to kind of put into a wide perspective of how far I've come and how crazy this all is. I've been around a while, like I said. I've been editing videos and putting them online for probably since around 2007. And I started off on Google Video, was where I first started uploading my videos. YouTube was around, but I couldn't really go on YouTube because our computer was kind of slow, and YouTube videos, the player didn't play videos, so I couldn't really upload to there or play videos. So I uploaded them to Google Video, and eventually Google bought YouTube, and Google was kind of phasing out Google Video. So I had uploaded like a bunch of different random Splinter Cell montages I made, like montages of like just still images released from the game, or I recut trailers and stuff like that. Set to one of the videos, embarrassingly enough, is set to Avril Lavigne. I kind of had a limited amount of music to cut things to, and it was all just practice. It was all just stuff that I wanted to edit and put online and just get as much feedback as possible, which back then was maybe one or two people saying good job. And then as time went on, I kind of stopped doing that. I went on YouTube. I created a YouTube account, uploaded like random clips of movies, Dr. Strangelove, Leon the Professional, some of my favorite movies, and just kind of early on was just sharing things I was interested in. I would upload trailers. And then in high school, I had been interested in Machinima for a little bit at that time. I was a fan of RB and the Chief and Red vs. Blue, although I still haven't watched past season 3 of that. I feel bad, but I'm like 7 seasons behind now. Anyway, so I was always interested in kind of trying my hand at it. And I had a DVD recorder, so I tried desperately to film a Crackdown Machinima. Because that's the one game I had, because I bought it to do the Halo 3 beta. That's like when I got my Xbox, so like right after I got a job, bought an Xbox after the third paycheck, and it ended up the first Machinima I ever made rolled around when I was doing my senior project in high school, and I got to screen it in front of my entire class, and that was really kind of the first time where I had created something and I was showing it to a room full of people. And in the class, there was maybe only 20 or 30 kids, all high school students, very few of them gamers. And that was like, I've never done drugs, but I would assume like a shot of cocaine. Do you shoot cocaine? Snort cocaine? Cocaine's bad. Drugs are bad, kids. But that was a big kind of turning point for me, where I showed this whole classroom full of kids something that I had made completely from scratch, obviously using Halo. I was using Halo 3, and it was just a trailer. The reaction was all positive. That I was kind of, at this point I had been through 2 different high schools, and I had been through a bunch of different schools growing up, and I didn't really know too many of these people because I'd only been going to that school for a year. When I got to that school, I was very much a kind of a keep to myself kind of kid. So I kind of had this creative impulse, and I was finally able to share it with these people who I didn't really know that well. And everybody was coming up to me saying how awesome it was. Some people said, they thought it was for act, like I didn't make it, it was for something else. And that was really, really awesome to get all that positive feedback and to kind of just thrive off of that kind of high of doing that. I eventually took that trailer, recut it, because originally it was edited in Movie Maker, and I ended up getting a Pinnacle Studio down the line, and re-uploaded it to Machinima's website. And that's kind of how my whole YouTube thing kind of kicked off. I uploaded it to Machinima's website. Still had my old YouTube at that point where I uploaded all the movie clips and everything. And a couple weeks later, I was just, for shits and giggles, Googling Danz Newz and came across that Machinima had posted the video I submitted to their site onto their YouTube, which was a huge deal for me because that YouTube is where RB and the Chief and stuff was going up. And that video had like 14,000 views within 2 weeks. And I was just like, what? And so that was another big kind of turning point where it's like, wait, if they think that was good enough, and I really didn't put a whole lot of effort into that, it was certainly something like I had never done before. I had never done anything with voice where I had to really cut to pacing of voice and writing, and I wrote it, and it was just like the first kind of creative endeavor into that. But like, it wasn't anything that was outrageously hard to do for me at that point. So it was like, I think I can do this. So I started my own YouTube, which is the YouTube you're on right now, Danz Newz Machinima, and started making Machinima. I really kind of hit it big by just making an avatar video. The very first day the new Xbox experience update came around, I messed around with the avatars. The first time the avatars were introduced to the Xbox, and I uploaded Meet the 360 avatar. And over a few months, that video got near 100,000 views. And Machinima came emailing and said, we'd like you in the director's program. And that kind of went from there. I kind of grew from there. Not necessarily on my channel, but on YouTube within the Machinima community. And when I say Machinima, I don't mean the company Machinima, I mean the actual making Machinima. Using video games to tell our, random YouTuber stories. Not necessarily, it's not limited to YouTube, but, our own stories, my own stories. Coots was a Machinima maker. Z was a Machinima maker. Max was a Machinima maker. Even James was a Machinima maker, to an extent. That's the community we were part of. And through a mishap by Machinima, messing up descriptions and saying one of Spoon's videos was my video, that's how I met Spoon. And Spoon and I went kind of back and forth, and he introduced me to the Creatures, brought me on Creature Talk one time. And through that whole crazy randomness, I became part of this group that has really kind of changed my life. And when I talk about this group changing my life, I'm talking about you guys changing my life as well, because this group exists because of you guys watching and all that stuff. And it's really amazing to think about that whole crazy long arc of stuff that really kind of randomly happened that led to this point. I've sat down and talked to you guys multiple times, talked to just 5,000 of you saying, oh, I have 5,000 subscribers, or 10,000 or 13,000 or 15,000 or whatever kind of marks I set aside and said thank you for watching me, and each time with the same amount of kind of sincerity. The number just keeps getting bigger, and I just keep saying thank you. And there's not much else I can do outside of kind of, and I think I've said this before, is kind of, let's make a pact where you guys keep watching and I'll keep doing what I'm doing. I think that might work out. But yeah, the goal has never really been to to get huge. Certainly not early on. A lot of younger people I talk to who say I'm kind of an inspiration to them say, you know, they ask me, how do you get big? You know, how do you get big? I don't think that's the right attitude. My attitude was never, I want to get as big as possible, or I want to grow as possible, or I'm going to do this so I can get bigger. My attitude really early on was, I just want to make videos. I want to entertain people. I want to make people laugh. I want to do something like I did in that classroom all those years ago, where it was like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, show them my video. I'm terrified, but let's see if I can kind of get the emotions out of them that I want to get out of them. You know, whether it be serious or funny or whatever. I know I say a lot. Sorry. Yeah. But you know, that's always been my goal, is to entertain you guys, to be entertaining as possible, and you know, like-minded people who get my sense of humor, who understand my aim with these videos. You know, hopefully they'll like it. I'm not expecting everybody to like my stuff, by no means. I'm not expecting everyone to understand why I do what I do, or why I, you know, even play video games with who I play with. Something that's been crazy about this whole Creature House thing is how, you know, my relationship with some of the other creatures have changed drastically. Before this whole thing, I hardly ever spoke to James or Seamus. Yeah. And through this, I've gotten a lot closer to those guys. I really never talked to them before. And now James and I are really good friends, and Seamus is one awesome guy who's really kind and sarcastic and awesome. So, you know, it's been awesome to get to know these guys better because of this situation, which again is because of you guys. Keep saying the same things. But, yeah. Well, this is the first time in this whole 12 minutes that I've stopped talking about what I was thinking about in my track mind. But yes. Hi, I'm Dan. Let's recap. No. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been. And I actually didn't set up that well. Even the last year, you know, we've looked at the last maybe, 10 years of my life. The last year has been absolutely insane. Me talking about, you know, becoming part of this group, and how it's changed my life. Let me explain to you how drastically my life has changed in the last year. 2 years ago, actually, I moved back home from living with my sisters after I met the group. There we go. I'm remembering now. After I met the group, I moved back home because I was originally living with my sister and I wasn't working. And then I moved back home and took up my old job at Lowe's Foods. And I had worked as a cashier there before, and they brought me back as a manager. Or, well, not a manager, but a front-end manager, a CSL. And it was fun to kind of be in a higher position. But early on, they sent me... Well, they didn't send me, but they asked me if I would like to work at the gas station, because the gas station was a newer part of the grocery store, and they needed somebody who was a bit more technologically savvy, because at the time there were older people working down there, and they didn't necessarily understand the systems and everything. So I said, sure. So I went down there and tested it out, and it was the easiest job in the world. I got to sit and watch cartoons while people filled up their tanks, and I just hit some buttons every once in a while. And occasionally I had to leave my booth and go out, because it wasn't like a typical gas station. It was a gas station where people had to walk up to a booth I was in, and I was locked off to them, and if I had to go help them, I would have to leave the booth. And it was fun. As time went on, things got a little less lax, and we had to do more stuff. They added more stuff down there for us to do, and towards the end, it didn't get outrageously stressful, and it wasn't really the work environment that was stressful. It was just the people that I had to, the customers, nobody is going to get gas not in a hurry. It's not so often that people stop to get gas when they're not near empty or in a hurry or something. So a lot of people can be jackasses. So it it wasn't a terrible situation. It wasn't an incredibly hard job. There are much harder jobs. But at the time, I was just kind of getting to my wit's end, and the Machinima thing was picking up. My YouTube channel, I had been partnered, and was nearly making as much doing playthroughs and gameplay stuff as I was at the gas station. And I said, you know what, I think if I focus more on this gameplay thing, I might be able to make just as much doing this as I can at working at the gas station and doing this. So I quit my job, and that was November of last year. 3 months later, I was moving to Colorado to be part of this weird experiment where, hey, let's take this group and turn it into a business, not necessarily like buy, sell, all that stuff business, but this kind of weird creative endeavor. And so far it's been working out pretty well. I went from a situation where I was working at a gas station, living at home, and now I'm in this huge ass house with very little expenses, and doing what I love doing what I set out to do very early on, and that's to entertain people, to make something that's gonna make people laugh or cry. I haven't done that yet. One day I'll make something that'll make you cry. Well, maybe I have. I lost a pet that I was very close to. And a lot of people said they cried over that, so maybe I have made you cry. That made me cry making that. That was very hard to make. But I'm doing what I never would have dreamed I was doing, or I would be doing now, 10 years ago when I first sat down and edited that movie poster montage set to Green Day. As they say, it's something unpredictable, but in the end, it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. And I am, because of you guys. I might have just misquoted that song. Nummy nummy num. But yeah. And since I've been a part of this whole house thing, I've grown leaps and bounds. My channel has grown over 100,000 subscribers, way over 100,000 subscribers at this point in the last 6 months. That's a rapid growth. And early on was kind of a pressure thing. Like, I didn't know what I should do. Like, you should, and I eventually kind of just figured I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing, and if people really want to watch it, they'll stick around. And if they don't, they don't. I'm not gonna try to change what I do or who I am to appease those people. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've seen comments on my channel every once in a while saying, good job riding, Nova's coattails. To clarify something, the way I do my channel, the way I pick who I play with or whatever, is exactly the opposite of that. I don't pick who I play with. I'm part of this group. I've never really been wholly into the gaming community. I'm not from the gaming community, the playthrough commentary community. I'm from the Machinima community, and even when I was part of that community, I did everything by myself, and I didn't really work with other people. So I'm kind of a loner in that respect. But once I became part of this group, and they kind of showed me how fun it was to do gameplay stuff, I started doing gameplay stuff, and they just asked, hey, do you want to play this? Hey, do you want to play that? And so, if they ask me to do something and I want to do it, I'll do it. But I don't set up what games we play or who I play with. People ask me and I play. James, wanted to do Herschel's Land. I thought it was an awesome idea, because him and I both share an awesome love for The Walking Dead, and that's how that arose. And I've been doing a lot of stuff with James, but that's because he's been asking me to do a lot of stuff. I've been hanging out with him a lot. So that's why there's been a lot of stuff with James. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do stuff with James because he's the biggest of the group and I want to get bigger. That's in no way, the mentality behind it. If nobody asked me to do anything, all you would see on my channel is single player stuff, because that's kind of what I do. Not that I don't want to do stuff with these guys. It's just like, it's the way I do things. I don't know. It's kind of weird, and maybe not great, because a lot of you guys say, why don't you do videos with this person, or why don't you do videos with that person, like random people from the gaming community. I've never really done that. I've never really done much of that. If I've done videos with other people outside of the group, it was something they had already pre-planned and they just invited me on. I have done random videos. I'm trying to think. Chimney Swift was one of them. I've played Payday with him once. I think Max and I did screwing around on the Creature server with Steph, and there's just been random people every once in a while. But it's not something I actively look for or am necessarily interested in doing. I'm just kind of interested in doing stuff. And if people ask me to do something, I'll do it. I don't know. I've recently talked to Dexter, who does Dexter Manning. Is that his last name? I don't know. Dex Boy, who does like Sanity Not Included, and he was asking me if he wanted to do stuff because he's looking to start doing gameplay stuff or commentary. So if he gets back to me or I get back to him, we'll do something. That's kind of the way I do things. So sorry if it seems like it's like a Nova Fest on my channel. It's just how the cookie's been rolling. Coots and I have been talking about doing Saints Row the Third for a million years. So maybe one day that'll get done whenever we can sit down and do it. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of the way things are going, and hopefully they continue to go well. I thought about doing some sort of special video outside of something like this. The last couple weeks I've done a couple special things, mainly the 2-hour-long special of my GTA 4 finale, where I pretty much just sat down and said I'm going to beat the game no matter how long it takes, and I made that special Machinima intro, which thank you very much. It's always an awesome feeling when you guys really like the kind of creative stuff I do. Not that commentary isn't necessarily creative, but I love spending time on a good old-fashioned kind of Machinima, although that was more of a music video than a Machinima music video. And I had fun making it, and I've been doing GTA 4 stuff for a long time, so it was awesome to get back in there and do some stuff, tinker around. And believe me, you will be seeing some GTA 4 Machinima, whether it be on my channel or on the Creature Hub. You will be seeing it very soon. Do not worry, because I have more than enough drive to do GTA 4 stuff if you are willing to watch it, which I'm sure you guys will, but the Hub audience is a bit different than my audience. A little bit different, because that's an amalgamation of everybody's fans, and sometimes when I put something on the Creature Hub, there are people who don't want to see stuff from me, and there are people who do want to see stuff from me, and I'm not really concerned about what people want to see necessarily. I'm just gonna, we're all gonna make stuff and contribute to it, and hopefully people kind of start to like it. That didn't go quite how I thought. Mentally, the path I was taking with that. But we're not necessarily concerned when one of us do something for the Hub and put it on the Hub. Sometimes there are going to be negative comments, and we just kind of look past them. I do. I just look past them. I'm gonna something like Danz's reviews. They don't necessarily do as well, but I do them for the people who want to watch them, the people who are expecting them to be on there every Friday. Although I've been kind of bad about it the last couple weeks, but that's because of conventions. But yeah. So that. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to get into a little bit of, while I'm kind of opening up and talking to you guys. The way I do single player stuff, you guys have caught on to it more recently, especially with GTA 4, me doing my Nico impression. I kind of have this weird thing in my single player playthroughs where I like to not necessarily role play, but okay, maybe role play a little bit, where I just kind of inhabit the character. I like getting into it. Otherwise, there's no point. That's the way I've always played video games. Even when I was back playing the SNES, I would create my own story in my head when I was playing. I remember I had Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi for the SNES, and there's the first level where you're just riding like a pod, and you're riding in the pod and you're jumping over little rocks, and that's all the first level is. And every single time I played that, I imagined that I was something, or someone was going to die if I didn't get to the end in time fast enough. And if I hit something, I'd be like, oh, we're going to crash, and then, recover. And like, I've always been like that. It's kind of weird that it's kind of carried over into what I do for a living now. But I'm glad you guys like that, because I really get into a game. I like mimicking things. I like impersonating things. I like being goofy and weird and funny. And I'm glad that you guys find me goofy, weird, and funny. Even knowing some people probably watch it and be like, this guy is so stupid, or this guy is dumb. But, that's what you guys are here for. That's why you stick around each time. And I'm glad to do it. I really like kind of adding that level of, not uniqueness, but, my stamp on it. It's just all I could hope to do is not copy anybody else's style, but kind of do my own, and with each game. And you might have noticed I don't really play games. Almost every single time I start a playthrough, I feel like I say each time, I've played this 2 or 3 times, I've beaten this 2 or 3 times, and I really love this game, and I just wanted to show it to you guys. That's what I kind of feel like my playthroughs are. Is just me kind of showing you, like, hey, there's this cool game that I like, I want to show you. And yeah, but that's a bit into why I do those things. Yeah. Another sip. Rockstar. I'm kind of tired, if you didn't catch on. Kind of tired because today was the day we got back from PAX, so I'm just filming this after getting very little sleep, and then, yeah, so that's why the Rockstar a little bit. Yep. But, moving on to the future. Hi, I'm Dan. If you see right there, I got a little box. That's a desk for. By the way, I've been recording this in my room the entire time. Let me see how long we're recording. Oh, almost half an hour. Great. I've been recording in my room this entire time. So, you haven't really seen any updates in my room in a long time. I still have the air mattress. It's still kind of a mess in here. And you might see right here, right there. That's my new computer that Coots, that I got, and components and all that stuff, and Coots put it together. I'm kind of moving back into my room over the last, since pretty much we moved in and we got the computers downstairs. I've been using my computer down there for everything, for editing for the hub, for recording my stuff, for editing my stuff. And I hardly am ever in my room. I only really come in here to sleep. And I go down there to work. There are pros and cons to working down there. Originally, the computer I have that I brought with me from North Carolina is I'm dying. It's okay. Is considerably not as awesome as the computer that is downstairs. The computer that is downstairs is a beast computer compared to my old one. And so pretty much I had Coots put together a beast computer for me to use now that I can afford it, because you guys have been awesome, have been watching more and more, and this kind of audience has been growing more and more. The more you watch, the more I can do some fun, crazy stuff. So I was able to buy this computer that I will be able to now move into my room and not necessarily be limited to recording downstairs. A big thing about being downstairs is Coots comes pretty much every day early on and stays all day. I never record when he's around, because a lot of the time he'll be recording or working on something, or there'll be other people down there. It's kind of a heavy traffic area because downstairs is that's our office pretty much. So it's not the best. I can really only record at night for the most part. And it's not really conducive to me getting things done when I need to get them done sometimes, because sometimes I'll be on a normal sleep schedule where I'll wake up at 9 and have to be really tired at 9 or 10, and I'm not ready to record, because I like to record, edit, and then render, and then upload and get it all ready and set up. I'm pretty one after the other most of the time. So it's not really conducive to me doing it quickly. Oh God, I had a steak. And so yeah, now that I'm here, in my room, I will be able to do a lot more stuff, I hope, and it'll be a lot easier to do stuff. So that I'll be in my room. I am in my room. I am Dan. So yeah, hopefully that's exciting for you guys. The biggest thing about all of this is over the next probably month or so, you'll be seeing pretty much what will be termed Operation Decorate Dan's Room, which is like ODDR, which is like odor, but Operation Decorate Dan's Room. So I have a shit ton of posters. I have a lot of movie props. I have a lot of statues. Not a lot of statues. I have like 3 or 4 statues, Batman related, that I haven't really shown you guys, that I will be setting up in my room. Because if you didn't know, Coots has a cat for me. Coots' cat, Tali, had 2 kittens. One's going to James, Moding, his cat, and one's going to me, and his name is Fisher. He's the little gray one if you've seen his videos. His name's Fisher, after Sam Fisher, because Splinter Cell. And I'm setting up the room to kind of be my little apartment, my little room. So it's going to be set up, decked out with movie posters, some furniture. Finally, I'm going to get a bed. I'm going to get a bed, a real bed. I've been on this thing for 6 months. This is actually Sly's blow-up mattress that he got when he first came here and left it in his room upstairs. But he hasn't come back since. He is going to be coming back soon. But so I better get it back up there. But I had brought like a dinky air mattress when I first came because I was relatively broke when I moved here. I had spent like all my money getting here. And so the air mattress I brought was really stinky, and so I borrowed Sly's. So I've been using that. So bed, I'm gonna get a bed, gonna get some tables, and like I said, that desk that I have right there, that's one high horse desk, and you guys hopefully will be impressed when you see it. It's a high horse desk, and I bought it because I bought a high horse computer, and again, all because of you guys. So, in closing, I hope you look forward to seeing me kind of get comfy here in my room, and I hope I can just keep doing what I'm doing. I hope I don't lose whatever touch I have now, to really kind of keep you guys happy and keep you guys inspired, and I hope you keep me inspired to do what I've been doing. And all around, I just want to say thank you to everybody who helped me get here. My family, the creatures, you guys, anybody who really kind of creatively inspired me along the way. I've gotten to travel the country, travel the world. I've been to Germany, I've been to Boston, I've been to Texas, I've been to Seattle, I've been to, all these incredible places that a year ago, I had never traveled anywhere across outside of the eastern seaboard of the United States, and Canada, but Canada doesn't really count as international. Sorry, Canadians. I grew up in Niagara Falls, New York. So Canada didn't really count as another country. That was just like across the street. But yeah, so awesome stuff. I really love you guys, and 200,000 subscribers is a very, very large number. I remember my sister talking to me when I was at 20,000 subscribers, and I remember thinking how large of a number that was, and now it's times 10, which is far larger. If all of you guys were in a room, that would have to be one gigantic room. So thinking about that is really insane. So thank you very much. Yeah.